Hi, I'm Sith King.
And I'm Sonic Sons.
And we're the Rambling Reviewers.
With our continuing Korra coverage, 3 K sounds in a row.
Wait, Korra coverage?
Continuing Korra coverage.
Okay. Yeah, I'm slow today. And today we're reviewing episodes 7 and 8 of Avatar, The Last Airbender, Legend of Korra.
Just call it Korra.
Pancakes.
The Korra Show.
Korra Show sounds like a variety hour.
Yeah.
It's the Korra Show! And it makes me think of like she's making like balloon animals out of ice or something. Actually, balloon animals made out of ice would be like really pretty.
Huh. Okay, we'll keep that in mind for later.
Okay.
So
remember back in the earlier episodes
yes.
when I said I had a rant about technology levels?
Yep.
Yeah, it's time for that now. Why in the name of sanity were there mecha? I mean, don't get me wrong. Mecha are cool. I mean, you saw our review of Pacific Rim. You should have seen our review of Pacific Rim. But anyways, so yeah, I'm totally in favor of mecha, but why? What was the technological progression that said mecha? I mean, yes, I mean, the tanks. Tanks are a logical next step in terms of mobile vehicles with weapons. I mean, like, you start out with, like, wagons with archers on them, I guess. And then, like, you armor the wagons so that they're more resilient. You, then, like, cars and...
It mainly started in World War I when they had to break through the trenches, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, but even before then, there were examples of armored vehicles and other things that were tank predecessors without actually being tanks.
Okay.
Heck, guns had predecessors. Like fireworks,
right.
Which led to cannons, which was miniaturized into like pistols and muskets.
Right.
And even then, gun design is still advancing. Now a pistol has smoothbore rifling. I mean, not smoothbore, that's like the opposite of rifling. Has rifling on the inside of the barrel. It's made of composite materials.
Yeah.
It shows technological progression from earlier artifacts.
Right.
But where in the Avatar world did giant mecha come from?
Well, they came from the guy who apparently invented the automobile by himself.
Which was an extension of other technology that we'd already seen in Avatar: The Last Airbender, like self-propelled tanks and carts.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, and basically, the horseless carriage is just basically a cart that moves on its own.
Well, yeah.
I mean, so what was the inspiration here? Why do they have? Okay, let's see. I need a weapon to give to the Equalists. I know, a top-heavy machine that relies on untested, unproven technology that, considering they're made of platinum, is ridiculously expensive to build. Brilliant!
Well, the platinum thing is going to happen no matter what you build, I guess.
Okay.
Everything is metal bendable.
Apparently not platinum. Although, I have heard people talking about this. Apparently, like, the leading consensus is that platinum is high up on the periodic table of elements. That it's, like, just heavy enough that it's really hard to bend.
He talked about it in terms of purity, which was the original reason why most people in original series couldn't bend metal, is because they said metal is earth in a purified form, and it's been purified to the extent that we don't know how to bend it. So they basically took the purity argument and brought it to 11 somehow. And I don't know why pure platinum is better than like pure some other, like pure aluminum,
pure steel, pure.
Yeah, so that would get you back to the periodic table.
But like I've heard that like it's because it's too heavy, and that's like a more realistic reason, which is why like in other stories I've seen people have said, oh, like uranium would work just as well.
Yeah, though if we're going to talk about elemental heaviness, how the frick does fire work into anything when it's not even an element in the periodic table?
Water isn't an element
No,
either.
but it's made of hydrogen and oxygen. Fire is an action which occurs when various elements bump into each other in a way that produces combustion.
Yeah. That doesn't really make much
sense. Actually, Earth is a huge variety of elements right there.
Yeah, carbon, oxygen, nitrogen.
Wait, so is air,
Yeah. Air, only like 40% of it is oxygen. The rest is like carbon dioxide.
I think the majority is nitrogen. We gotta look up our air physics here.
Yeah, but anyway, back to mecha. Why? I mean, we haven't. The rest of this has been fairly, I won't say realistic, but
consistent
in feel to 1920s.
Yeah, I see. They definitely broke the 1920s vibe right there.
Yeah, suddenly you have all this stuff that, we don't have now.
Yeah, but mainly because we invented the gun.
Okay, yeah, we invented the gun, but that doesn't. But the gun is an entirely different field than working battle-ready robot articulator arms.
So what I mean though is, if you had a gun, you wouldn't need work battle-ready articulator arms because you can shoot your opponent at a distance.
Well,
and you don't need to bother.
I know. I'm not saying that it's a necessity thing. I mean, there are so many different advances that have to have taken place that we have not seen in the Avatar universe before.
So what they should have had is, because what we do have nowadays is robot arms on assembly lines for cars.
Yes.
And if he had, what they should do? There should be a guy working similar controls, and he's doing a robot thing to grab pieces and put them together, right?
Yeah.
And the mecha would be a modified version of his assembly line thingamajig.
Okay, yes.
That would have been good. That would have been good.
It might have worked. The closest thing I've seen to it is, Toph created a set of faux power armor in the interquel comic The Promise, in order to scare some of her students into learning metal bending.
Cool.
Okay, yes, it was cool.
Yeah.
It didn't friggin' work. In that the students were all so terrified of it that they passed out. But still, that's like the closest thing I've seen to this sort of thing. I just don't understand where the idea for this came from.
So basically, they should have established something vaguely like this,
or processes, individual processes that could have been combined into this.
Right.
And plus, what powers these things? I mean, I'm just
gas. I mean, they have cars. They must run on gas.
Yeah. But
so there must be a refinery somewhere, probably like with earthbenders just bending the gas out of the ground.
Also, how the heck did he build this factory under his house? And how did he make a factory under his house with no one noticing? I mean, wouldn't people have noticed like the smoke from industry and?
Yeah, I mean, I would just assume it's actually assembled by hand down there. He brings in the raw materials. It's not really a proper factory; it's just a big workshop type of thing.
Okay.
Because you would have to have a smokestack if you were burning stuff, And
yeah, but
where's all that smoke coming from?
Where did he conduct the tests to run these things? I mean,
in that same workshop.
Probably, yeah.
Because he hasn't taken them outside yet. That'd be great. They all just like fall over in real world conditions. Like, oh no, tilted ground.
Okay, here's another question I have.
Yeah.
Why did he put Equalist stuff up all over the place? I mean, the other way you could pretend, oh, hey, guess what? Yeah, this is my secret workshop where I work on my own private projects. Yeah. This is the Judicator class battle mech, which could be used to subdue...
Fight firebenders. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, or... work in hazardous conditions. I mean, heck, I could see a jillion and one uses for power armor like that.
Yeah, that could easily be another way to bring that in. Is we have some hazardous conditions, and this suit was built for that purpose, and then repurposed as a weapons. I'm just saying to the earlier point.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hazardous conditions would be. Maybe they need to get something out of like a volcano. There's some minerals down there. There'd be a guy like mining minerals, and he's got this suit in case the volcano.
I'd like to see prototypes of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. See firefighters moving in like really heavy, bulky mech suits.
Yeah.
But then I don't know, the mecha thing kind of breaks my suspension of disbelief a little bit. It just doesn't seem like it fits.
It's quite a bit. It's a big. I mean, I'll grant them that they are apparently full mechanical. He's not like, let me activate the computer or something like. Something really crazy like that. Like, okay,
and they don't appear to be metal bender controlled, which I might have accepted as being like a possible thing, but they're purely for equalists. Unless you have a bunch of metal bender traitors on your side.
No, they're purely for equalists, non-benders and stuff. Yeah,
it was the funniest thing earlier. They were going down the shaft, and he said, "At the bottom is the Evangelions, which they're going to use to crush him."
That's the new weapon. He has an Ava because it looks like that one.
I knew what was coming. And I just forced myself to not say anything because, oh my god,
what? Such a surprise crossover. We need these to fight the angels. The what?
I mean, the Benders.
The plot.
I mean, the Benders.
Yeah.
The Benders.
The Benders.
And no one else.
By the way, anyone who has not seen Neon Genesis Evangelion, I recommend it. It's an anime. It's cool.
Then watch Tengen Toppa and Lagann, which is, you'll need to watch in order to get over the depressing.
It's the polar opposite. They're both awesome, but they're total opposites of the emotional spectrum.
But
Anyway.
yeah, we are going to be doing something with Ava in the future.
We will. So yeah, the things didn't quite fit. Are cool for their own sake.
But
the trouble for the writers is keeping things kind of clean, and it's really hard to do that if people have realistically just invented the gun, because then they will shoot at the Avatar and she will die.
No, not necessarily. It took
yeah.
hundreds of years for projectile weapons like the gun to supplant melee weapons as the primary weapons in combat.
But if we are going with 1920s as our prototype, the guns have supplanted melee combat.
Yeah, but
except in close combat encounters. But in general, you would try and shoot people.
Well, if this is the 1920s and the gun clearly has not been invented yet, then
it's a different 1920s.
Yeah, the best they could probably do at the moment is muskets.
Yeah.
Or primitive black powder weapons. And let's face it, in a world where any schmuck off the street can casually wave his hand and send ice bullets shooting into your face at 90 miles an hour, the gun would probably be lower on the list of priorities, except for the
people who can't bend, of which there are a fair number, aren't there?
Yeah, okay.
But, I know what you mean, yeah. It would be less of a priority than it was in the real world.
And even then, the guns would still be primitive because we didn't see any guns like back in the last Airbender show. Yeah, so they'd still be pretty primitive. Maybe like single shot weapons.
Yeah. Anyway, though, the advantage from the writer standpoint, from the what's it called, Watsonian and
versus
Doylist. Then the Doylist perspective is, hey, if this thing has arms and electricity, well, electricity will knock you out but not necessarily kill you. Arms can grab you, but you'll struggle, as opposed to just bam, headshot type of feeling, You don't raise the implications as the writer of why don't you just shoot him. So yeah.
Yeah, but I just get the feeling that a modern army could conquer maybe not conquer this world, radically transform it if we were to introduce even 1920s weaponry into this society. The Equalists would probably steamroll over the Benders.
More or less, yeah. Unless you had multiple revolutions going on at once.
We were joking about this. It was before it was revealed that Mr. Sato was
evil.
Was an equalist, I thought. And he had this thing saying, okay, we'll prepare for the strike soon. And I thought, oh, he's preparing his union buddies for the communist revolution! And then I had the idea that the equalists and the communists were going to be fighting over who got to be the rebellion today.
That would be great, yeah. It was all according to someone's, super chess master plan. Yeah.
And that person was, and the Super Chess Master was raised by Kevin Bacon. 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. You are always amusing.
Yeah.
But
so I like the way they did that plot line, because here I am every time I watch a show, I'm watching the tropes.
Yeah, same here.
And so
TV tropes will ruin your life.
Yeah. So it's just, it makes you a better writer though. So she eavesdrops on him and he says, we're going to strike. And I'm like, okay, my prediction, he's not evil. He's just talking about strike in the marketplace sense. And then she's disproven so quickly that I went, no, okay, wait. Now it's more likely he is evil. I was wrong, because they wouldn't have wrapped it up so soon, unless there was going to be new evidence comes up later in the episode. But then I thought, no, wait, maybe Tarlock, the evil guy in the council, is trying to frame Bei Fong, is that how you pronounce it? The police chief.
Wait, and I was right actually earlier. Like you voiced that opinion to me when Korra got that piece of paper that said, "Hey, there's a secret room, there's a secret tunnel, secret tunnel." Those who watched Avatar: The Last Airbender should get that. If not, shame on you, Cave of Two Lovers. Yeah. But there's a secret tunnel underneath the Sato household. Mm-hmm. And he was like, "Oh, I bet this is Tarlock trying to set up Bei Fong so that she gets in trouble and stuff." Mm-hmm. And I said, "Or what if it's Sato who's trying to discredit them so they stay out of his affairs?"
Right.
I was right. I was right. Sato did set it up, but it wasn't for that reason.
It wasn't to discredit them. It was to trap them and kill them with his freaking robots. Except not kill them, because no one ever kills anybody in this universe.
Well, actually, that would be a great morality victory. for the Equalists. I mean, you
yeah.
debanded the Avatar,
Yeah.
the Master Airbender, and the Chief of Police.
And then don't kill them because you're nice guys. So that actually does make more sense than it does in most of the villainous contexts. Because they're not trying to rule the world. They're trying, officially anyway.
Okay,
they're
well,
probably trying to rule the world. But officially they're trying to be equalists. And therefore all we do is take away your bending. We're not vicious. We're not going to, chop off your head.
Have you ever read the story Harrison Bergeron?
Yes.
Okay, for those who don't get it, Harrison Bergeron is about a society that takes being equal to an extreme.
Yeah.
It's about, like, if you're really, really pretty, you have to cover yourself up and wear a really ugly mask.
Yeah.
If you have a really nice voice, you have to make it sound like this. If you're smart, you have to wear these headphones that blare noise in your ears so that you can't think.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree that there should be limits placed on benders.
Well, I just agree in human rights for all, which would include non-benders on the council, don't you think?
Well, yeah, but we saw in episode 8 that's like the benders were deciding, yeah, we should like treat the non-benders like criminals and shit.
Well, Tarlock was saying that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but the rest of the council is basically Tarlock's toadies.
Yeah, those people suck. Every time he's like, let's have a vote, I'm like, you suck. Everyone else in the council, they just raised their hand to do it. Oh my god, I just thought of this. That's probably not canon, but I've just thought of this. Whenever Tarlock calls for a vote, he bloodbends the rest of the council and forces them to raise their hands.
Yeah, I don't
think so. But it's something I was realizing, like, he's a bloodbender.
Yeah, I think they would realize that, like,
yeah.
Like, okay, good, we made the, oh god, my body, someone just took control of my body.
I know. But effectively it's the same thing, because no one ever objects. No one ever even talks. It is only Tarlock and Tenzin. And I don't know who those other people are.
Yeah, I mean, they're supposedly from the Earth Kingdom.
They're all like
and
holograms or something.
The Earth Kingdom, the other water tribe, the...
Fire Nation.
Yeah. Although I seriously do want this. I want a swamp bender on the council.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I think we should keep all the non-vendors in their houses. I think we should go for a barbecue. Oh, let's eat some bugs. Oh my god, that would be the best thing ever. Oh my god, Hugh should be the thing. He was the guy who bended the water in the plants to make that monster thing.
Oh, yeah.
You're not wearing pants. Pants are an illusion. Pantsless man elected to council.
Yeah. Anyway, so I am glad that they are definitely hitting the human rights angle. No one has yet brought up that there's no democracy, or like non-benders are not allowed to run, or I don't know what. But no one has brought up that issue yet. But they have brought up, hey, these are peaceful protesters. They're not equalists. They just want their power back. Apparently, Tarlock is.
Oh, by the way, literally, he turned off the electrical power, not the political power.
They would also like their political power, I guess. But so that was neat. That Korra's going against like the government now. Beifong really shouldn't have resigned, but oh well. Hindsight is 2020. And for a second there, it almost looks like maybe we'll just make rebellion against the government, and there really will be two rebellions. It'll be the Korra's Fairness Rebellion or whatever, and then there'll be the Equalist, a frick all bending rebellion.
It'd be like Babylon 5.
Did they have multi-world rebellions going on?
Yeah, Babylon 5 was fighting against the Shadows, like for most of their arc, but then Earth government slowly got more and more restrictive in 1984-ish. And Babylon 5 eventually seceded, and it was now fighting a war on two fronts. One against the Earth Alliance and its rebel, and along with the colonies that rebelled from the Earth Alliance. And on the other side, they were fighting against the Vorlons, who wanted order.
I thought they were fighting the Shadows.
They fought both eventually.
Oh, wow. They fought 3 people. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, Season 4 was awesome.
Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah.
Major spoilers for Babylon 5.
Oh, come on. If you're watching this show by now, you should realize that we're going to spoil anything and everything.
Yeah.
By the way, the Titanic sinks.
Oh, my gosh. Really? But not the Space Titanic. But, anyway. So, yeah, they brought that up. And then okay, we're going to go and try, like, the frigging legal route, which is obviously not going to work. And
yeah, because
crap is going to happen in the meantime.
What if Tenzin spoke first? What if they just vote along with whoever?
Yeah.
Okay, I vote that Tarlock be declared a stinky asshole.
Raise hand.
Oh, come on! Shut up, stinky asshole. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. These are just puppets. There's a guy up there in the rafters with the strings. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Right. I remember one random moment I liked was they're at Sato's mansion and
Bolin.
Bolin. I knew Balin was wrong. Bolin is like, servant man, towel me off, and the guy towels him off. And, then he jumps back in the water, and the servant guy just goes like, ugh, and he has this exasperated look, like, away from Bolin's face. And I just love that because in one single shot, suddenly that butler has personality,
Yes.
Love when people do that. There is this one moment, unrelated, kind of, but it just reminds me of in Iron Man, in one of the Iron Man comics, not the movies. And some, rich guy was pissed off at his wife, and he is about to punch her. He throws his arm towards her, and his, as to this moment, yes man, grabs his freaking arm and stops him. And suddenly you're like, oh my god, does the yes man have a personality? Did his dad beat his mom when he was young? Does he have an opinion on things that are happening? That's amazing.
And it's not just an Alfred clone.
Right,
a lot of people
right.
try to go mimic Alfred from Batman and doing it like,
Yeah.
yes, whatever you say, sir.
Right,
But
he's
Alfred's
just like
much
a
more
robot,
complex
yeah.
than that. Alfred is like, he has this sarcastic sense
When he's
of
written
humor.
well. When he's written well, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh yes, and I thought Batman was the detective.
Yeah.
Who are you? I'm Batman. You're not Batman. I wish once someone would believe me when I said that. Said that.
Yeah. What was the context of that?
It was from this cartoon Static Shock, part of the DC animated universe.
Right.
Batman took Static to the Batcave after he was knocked out, and,
Right.
and Alfred was like mopping up Static's wounds, and then that line occurred, and then Static went, "Hello, Batman. I already know who you are." He lists off his name, his age, what year he is in high school, what
Yeah.
high school he's at.
Yeah.
And Static's like, "Wow, you really are the world's greatest detective. You probably shouldn't keep your school ID in your pocket." Static's like,
Yeah.
ooh.
I like how they characterized Asami too. They specifically went, actually, she's not pretty. You just thought that when you first saw her.
She races cars for a living.
races cars.
She drives the Korra mobile.
And she's all like, I learned martial arts. I'm like, she's gonna get in a fight later. Later that same episode, called it.
And she now has like an equalist gauntlet.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Which I really wish she'd like take off in between fights.
I presume there's some sort of safety on there. Or
Well,
something,
yeah, I'm just thinking, if you have it on, like you're doing something wrong, like say you're scratching your head. Oh, I'm sorry, I had the taser gauntlet on.
Yeah.
I liked their bathing suits. That
Yeah.
seems like a strange thing to compliment,
yeah.
but a lot of shows would have just gone with, they have modern style bathing suits for some reason.
Right.
But no, they had 20 style bathing suits, which is
Right.
basically like one-piece unitards.
Right, and two good reasons for that. One, to keep up the 1920s feel, and two, not to sexualize every freaking female character who walks onto the screen.
Or male character.
Well, that's true, but it happens a lot more with females, I think.
Yeah, but
Because
still.
there's, they didn't make it into a fan service thing. It was like, we're just swimming. It's fine. Moving on now.
Although I would like to see Korra change into some other outfits because I haven't seen her wear anything but that stupid fur thing.
Except that one time at the press conference.
Yeah, the one time where it wouldn't be appropriate for her to wear furs. But every other time, it's like either she's in her fur things, and those things have to be rank by now. I mean, how many of identical outfits do you have? I mean, some cartoons would mock this by showing like them opening up their closet, and it's all the same outfit in there.
Right, yeah. That says something about art style and stuff, because sometimes you want them to wear the same thing so they're immediately visually recognizable.
I mean, like the other characters, I can kind of understand that. But Asami like changes her clothes every once in a while. She has different styles and outfits.
Right.
Bolin and Mako, it's kind of justified because, as Sato said earlier, they're dirt poor.
Right. Well, I can kind of justify the Korra too, because the way she was raised, it was in the middle of nowhere, and they didn't have a fashion scene. And she did this whole bit with like the powder in the powder room, like, what do I do with this?
To which I immediately, anytime any character is shocked by anything in fiction, my first response is, "That item killed my parents!"
Oh, speaking of people who kill parents, firebenders all the goram time.
Oh, come on!
I mean, so they
They were
killed.
the bad guys in the last series. Lay it to rest already.
So we heard early on. We heard they killed Mako and Bolin's parents. The firebender killed my parents, and then we hear that somebody killed Asami's mom. They didn't tell us, except in these 2 episodes, a firebender killed their mom, and we're like, "Gosh, freaking! Why is it always
we even
firebenders?"
said this.
Yeah.
It's a firebender that killed. The best part, I think, was I heard online someone said that the firebender in question, it wasn't a firebender. His name was a firebender, like as in Alfred Firebender, and he's a waterbender.
Yeah, I think
it's not canon, but that would just be the best part.
Yeah. Yeah. Please, I would love to hear some backstory. I want Avatar Batman to show up and just be like, an earthbender killed my parents. I'll be like, oh my gosh, not a firebender? That's a new idea.
See, you know what I find interesting? Bloodbending is apparently treated worse in this story. I mean, like...
Well, it was an evil thing the first time.
Yeah, but people react a lot less harshly to firebenders, and bloodbenders didn't wage a war for 100 years to conquer the entire planet, or try to glass the Earth Kingdom.
Right, that's why everyone hated the firebenders in the first.
Yeah, but I think you think there'd be a little more lasting resentment. I mean, bloodbenders have to be really friggin' rare. I mean, yeah, they're scary, but
well,
like,
you know, but the rarity could contribute that because it makes him like sort of a boogeyman. Like I didn't know you even existed, type of thing.
Good point. But even then, I don't know. I'd like to see more bad guys committing murders that aren't firebenders. You know, let the firebenders drop the villain ball for once.
Yeah.
Like have a waterbender shove an icicles shiv through your spine,
right.
or crush you between boulders.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I want them to kill people. I'm just saying, you know,
if someone's gonna kill, it might as well be
have
everybody.
it be a normal person and just have them, you know, stab someone or.
Yeah. That's the thing. We don't have death in this cartoon, except in the backstories. You know, but yeah, that brings me to the next point. So, I want to say Turok.
Tarlok.
Turok is that video game, wasn't it?
Yeah, and Turl is the cyclone from what's the movie's name? Battlefield Earth.
Oh yeah, screw that. Tarlok is defeated Korra and tied her up. And Matt did point out that she's reborn every time she dies.
Which is why they didn't kill the Avatar when they captured him in Avatar: The Last Airbender, because they knew, then we'd have to start all over in the Water Tribe in 10 years.
Yeah, so that's a thing, I guess. But I was just a little bit like, you know, you could slit her throat, logically. I mean, you would have 10 years before the next one grows up enough to do crap.
But also, the avatars can remember their past lives, so all you need to do is make contact with your past life, and she'd say, yeah, that Tarlok asshole, he was the one who killed me. Go kick his ass. And then suddenly, hey, it's the word of the avatar versus the word of you. I'm thinking I'm believing the avatar.
Yeah, all right. I guess it kind of works out.
I mean, if it's wait 90 years... Who's the one who made you disappear? It was Tarlok. You should kill him. He died of old age like 80 years ago.
Crap. But yeah. So those are basically my thoughts. Oh, when they got into the Korra mobile and they're all driving off and like we're gonna be the badass heroes, I did have this little nagging thought of, do you even know where you're going or how to find the Equalists? Because I think you're just going to drive around town for a while in your very conspicuous automobile with an open top, and everyone can see who you are, and they're just going to hide in the shadows. But oh well, you know, I mean, something works out.
Equalists aren't really like known for their... I mean, the Equalists have hidden in the shadows for this long. If they see you coming in the Korra mobile... Yeah. No, that's the Avatar. Better not be acting all Equalist at all.
Right. So it's, you know, we need if somebody was like the detective and like, we'll figure out what to do next, or we had the lead or what. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a huge deal. It just was sort of. I did love the idea of a car chase where you can make your own ramps at will. Like that totally just changes the idea of what car chases do. You know, That was fun. And. Yeah. Pretty much nothing there.
Okay, I think that's every note
That's pretty much what we got to say. All right.
So join us next time in 2 episodes when we cover...
the next 2 episodes, 9 and 10. And we're getting towards the end of this season. It's the short season. It's sad. All right. I guess that is about it.
Okay, I'm Sith King.
And I'm Sonic Sons.
We're signing off.